Good morning, dear students. Chapter 9, the living organisms and their surroundings, I have completed. And today I will start new chapter, lesson 14, water. How do we use water? You know that we need water for drinking, cooking, washing, bathing, for food and utensils. And agriculture requires a large amount of water. And all kinds of animals, domesticated or wild, need water for their survival, and water is required in big and small factories for producing a variety of goods needed in our daily life. Once we use water for some given activity, we do not use it again. We let it flow in the drain as waste or dirty water. We let it flow in the drain as waste or dirty water. For doing the same activity again, we need more of clean and fresh water. Have you ever thought from where this fresh water comes? Let us try to find the answer to this question. We know that water is very important, and we need water for bathing, cooking, drinking, washing our clothes, utensils, and agriculture. For the agriculture, they need large amount of water. So from where we will get this water? Oceans are as the major source of water. Oceans as the major source of water. The oceans and the seas cover 3/4 surfaces of water of the earth, and sea water is salty in nature, and it is unfit for the drinking or the agriculture activities because salt contains and it is salty in nature, so it is unfit for the drinking and for the agricultural and for the drinking activities. So in spite of these drawbacks, oceans are the major source of fresh water. How? You have already learnt in the chapter 5 about evaporation and done a few activities regarding the factors favoring evaporation. Just to recapitulate, the process due to which water changes into water vapor from its exposed surface is called the evaporation. Question is arises here, what is the evaporation? The heat of the sun changes water into water vapor. This process is called the evaporation, and the factors which increases the rate of evaporation are the high temperature. If high temperature are there, then evaporation process will take place properly, and movement in the air and larger area of exposed surface. It should be larger. So during the daytime, when the sun shines over oceans, seas, rivers, lakes, fields, cities, towns, the heat from it evaporates vast amounts of water. The water vapor so formed mixes in the air. Thus, day in and day out, water vapor continuously enters the air. And there is another way by which large amounts of water vapor are added in air. It is done through plants. Transpiration as a means of adding water vapor to air. You have learnt in this chapter 7 that all plants need water for their growth and development, and plants absorb water from the soil with the help of their roots, and this absorbed water is then transported to the various parts of the plant such as stem, branches, leaves and fruits. Some of this water is used for making food by the plants. The surplus water is released into the air through their leaves by the process of transpiration, and the amount of water which is released in the air in the form of water vapor by the process of transpiration. And an idea about the amount of water vapor which is released in the air can be had from the following examples. A cornfield measuring 100 meter into 100 meter roughly transpires water equal to a water tank. measuring 100 meter into 100 meter and 90 centimeter height. From the time of its planting to harvesting of the crop. Similarly, in order to produce 1 kilogram of wheat grain, and the wheat plant transpire 50 kg of water, which is equal to 50 buckets of 10 liter capacity. Thus, to conclude, water vapor is continuously added into air through the process of evaporation by the heat of the sun from various water bodies, and through the process of transpiration by all kinds of plants which grow on the surface of land. Now the question arises, do the water vapor continuously go on increasing in the air? Well, the answer is that water vapor does not continuously increases in the air but changes back to the liquid state by the process of condensation. Let us perform the following activity. Activity 1 is to show the presence of water vapor in air. To show the presence of water vapor in air. What are the materials required? Materials required: clean glass tumbler, dry towel and ice cube. What is the methods? Take a clean and dry towel, dry glass tumbler and wipe it from the outside and from the inside. And wipe it from the outside with a dry towel so as to ensure that its outer surface is completely dry. And place a few ice cubes inside the glass tumbler and wait for a few minutes. You will notice that outer surface of the glass tumbler becomes misty and finally droplets of water appear on it. And it is because as the air around the glass tumbler cools and the water vapor in air condenses to form teeny droplets of water which deposits themselves on the outer surface of glass tumbler, and the process by which the water vapor present in air condenses to form liquid water on cooling is called condensation. Similarly, if a cold spoon is held above the steam coming from boiling water and teeny droplets of water are formed on the under surface of a spoon, it is because the steam on condenses changes into the liquid water. I will draw the activity also. You will take revision because activity can come in exams. This is the clean glass tumbler. Ice cubes, droplets of water, droplets of water, droplets of water, ice cube, so in this activity you seen that this is the condensation of water vapor. This diagram shows condensation of water vapor, and this activity to show the presence of water vapor in air. Now activity 2 to show evaporation and condensation taking place at the same time. Evaporation and condensation taking place at the same time. You know that what is the evaporation process? The heat of the sun changes some water into water vapor is called the evaporation process. And what is the condensation? When these water vapors cools, it takes the shape of the water, droplets of water. This process is called the condensation. So in this activity it is given that to show that evaporation and condensation process takes place at the same time. What are the materials required? Clean and dry glass jar with a lid and a small piece of cotton soaked in water. Methods: remove the lid from the glass jar and place a small piece of wet cotton in it and replace the lid tightly. Place the glass jar in the sunshine for half an hour. You will notice that tiny droplets of water are sticking to the upper inner surface of glass jar, and it is because the water in the cotton changes into water vapor on absorbing the heat energy, and this process of slow changes of water into water vapor on absorbing heat energy is called the evaporation. And the water vapor on coming contact with upper cooled air of glass jar condenses to form tiny droplets of water. So we can say that in this activity evaporation and condensation process takes place at the same time. So this is the activity 2 to show evaporation and condensation process taking place at the same time. An activity to show the presence of water evaporation to show the presence of water vapor in air. Activity 1 and 2 you will take revision because it can come in exams, and so you will take revision of activities with diagram. Activity 1 and activity you will take revision. Now how are clouds formed? Next is the how are clouds formed. So you know that clouds are made of droplets of water, ice, crystals, particles of dust and air, and the lower part of the Earth's atmosphere is full of water vapor, and the water vapor is not visible in air because it is a gas. Clouds are formed when some water vapor condenses, changes into liquid state and forms teeny droplets of water. If the air is cold enough, the water will form ice crystal instead of droplets. And you know that dust is the very important constituents in the clouds, and in the air there are salt particles from the oceans, ash particles from the volcanoes, teeny bits of rocks and soil blown off the land, and soot particles from the factories and forest fires. And these particles attract water molecules and given them a place to gather into droplets, and without dust it would be difficult to clouds to form. So till here you will take revision.